Right, YouTube, it's Shadow King Nazru, and I'm here with my revised video on Kingdom Hearts 3 lightsaber style combats based on Star Wars stuff. This time featuring Terra. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm doing Terra again because looking back at my old video, I don't think I did the best job with it. So I'm thinking this is my second take to do things a bit better and expand upon a few things. So let's break down Terra's styles and see which ones match. Okay, the first lightsaber style is Shoutout, and it deals with wide-ranging attack moves, best for dealing with multiple opponents, but its weakness is that it's not well focused and bad for engaging single opponents in single combat. For Terra, since he was dealing with opponents such as the Unversed from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, he would be familiar with it, and this would be too hard since it's the first lightsaber combat style. Well, I wouldn't say this is that he was like a master of it. It was just something he was familiar with. The second form is Makashi, which does deal with single targets better than Shicho, but suffers the opposite effect. That's not good for dealing with multiple opponents, though a master who's practiced it for years can't overcome this. And this mostly deals with opponents by using precisions and elegant movements. The prime example of this is Count Dooku. And again, I forgot that the prime example for Shicho is Kit Fisto. You see why I kind of have to do this again. For Terra, again, he doesn't really fit this. His attacks don't really involve precision, defeating his enemies using precision, but more using strength-oriented strikes. So Makashi would be a terrible fit for him. Form 3 is Sarisu, which is building a nigh impenetrable defense and deflecting all the attacks towards a different direction. It's very great for defense, the absolute best, but the problem is that it has no offensive applications. Now, Terra is capable of defending against some enemy attacks, but he's not a strictly defensive person, so he would prefer to go on the offense. So I would say that he would be experienced with Sarisu, but this wouldn't be his main strategy in fighting. Now, Form 4 Ataru, in Form 3 for Sarisu's example is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, Form 4 Ataru involves using speed-based movements and strikes to deal with your opponents, basically outmaneuver them and trying to reach their flanks. It's very offensive, physically demanding, but the drawback is that due to being so physically demanding, it can drain a person if the fight gets drawn out very long. Now, Terra, being the slowest Keyblade wielder, which by normal human standards is still pretty fast, but by Keyblade wielders it's actually really, really slow, this wouldn't be all that great of a fit for Terra. However, when he goes into his Dark Impulse command style, and he's channeling the darkness, he does use his hand-to-hand combat in certain moments during his fights, which is a key thing in using Ataru, where you use your body to help fight against your opponents. So I would say that he's copying elements of Ataru, even though he's not fit for the whole entire aspect of it. And the master that best represents Form 4 Ataru is Yoda, as we saw in Attack of the Clones. Now, Form 5 is Xian/Jim So, which is Xian version is deflecting blasters, or in this case magic or any other projectiles, and deflecting it right back at the opponent, as opposed to Surisu, which was deflecting it in a different direction and being passive. And Jinso is dealing with more lightsaber combat, or in this case Keyblade combat, or any other melee combat, and reacting with a counter and responding with brute force, brute force, brute force. Now this is the most Keyblade's fighting style that would best fit Terra. His three unique command styles are Critical Impact, Rock Breaker, and Dark Impulse, all of which you see his fighting styles are very power-based, focusing on overwhelming his opponent and even staggering them so he can leave them open to a harder attack. And once you see when he fights against Master Xehanort and their Keyblades clash, you see that Terra is trying to use all of his strength to overpower Master Xehanort. So yes, this is the Keyblade. This is the lightsaber style where Terra would fit the most. Now, Form 6 is 9-man. Oh wait, sorry. Again, I apologize. I have to remember this. The Star Wars character that would best fit for Form 5 would be Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. As you see, he's a tank and loves to use power strikes in his combat styles. Now, Form 6, 9-man, is the moderation style. It combines all all previous forms into one hybridized form. The strengths is that it's very versatile and it can't be exploited for weaknesses. However, it's not as good as the other forms. It's not as wide-ranging as Shicho, not as precise as Makashi, not as defensive as Risu, not as fast as Ataru, and not as strong as Jinso. For Terra, I would normally say no. However, I would say that he has incorporated elements of this as part of what makes 9-man so great, is that you can use variations of other weapons in your fighting. And Terra does use this with his Keyblade transformations, such as him turning his Keyblade into a cannon, or into a mace, or to a very whip-like version of his Keyblade. So that aspect of 9-man he does copy, but just making hybridized versions, no, that doesn't fit him. And finally, we have Form 7, Juyo. Apologize, forgive me, I'll try to keep better mind to this. A Form 6 Master is, you could go with Syndralig or Revan. And Form 7, Juyo. Form 7, Juyo is the most aggressive form and very erratic, and it's all about harming your enemy. And a lot of Star Wars fans say that this is the form you want to go with if you just care all about hurting. And even Jinso said this is like the form you would study if you're a psychopath. Now, the key to Juyo is that it requires very intense training, very intense focus, despite how erratic its nature and its movements seem. Juyo has probably the most best offense output. Even being able to break through Surisu at times. However, it has abysmal to practically non-existent defense, especially against force powers, which in Kingdom Hearts universe would probably translate to magic. So for Terra, I don't believe he would be Juyo because he does remember to cover his defense, and he is not well expertise in the other forms that I would consider him a Juyo expert. So overall, I would say that this wouldn't be a good fit. And the Form 7 specialist for Juyo will either be Mace Windu or Darth Maul. So to sum it all up, Terra's fighting style would be Form 5 Xian/Jim So, with elements incorporating Shicho, Sarisu, Ataru, and bits of Naiman. So those are all the fighting styles I think would best fit Terra's fightings. I hope that I did a lot better in this video than I did in the previous one. Let me guys know what you think, and when I get to the next character, I'll try to do better next time. See you later.